Hello there, Cancer. Thank you so much for stopping by for your monthly in-depth tarot video forecast. We are going to be looking at the month of March, and we're going to start with March the 1st through the 14th, and then after that we'll look at March the 15th through the 31st. So, as I'm shuffling, let me just remind you, those of you who are cross-watchers, you are welcome to be here to find out whatever it is that you would like to know about Cancers today. Feel free to be here. However, keep in mind that on my channel, energies are not reversible. So the information that you're getting is for and is about Cancers. If you are looking for energy that is for and about yourself, you may want to check out your own sun sign, your moon sign, or your rising sign. That is where you will find the energy that pertains to you personally. Those of you who would like to schedule a private reading with me or even a private Reiki session, you can see how to do that on the website listed in the description box below, or actually even right across the bottom of this screen by the time I get done editing this video. All right, Cancers, let's start off with your environment. What do we have happening here? So it looks like there's something that you want to complete in the environment that you're in, and you are really making plans and making decisions that are leading you in that direction. I feel like you guys are at a point where you are turning your dreams or your fantasies into reality through good judgment and planning during this time frame. That's kind of cool to see, Cancers. All right, next thing that we're looking at is your subconscious leanings. What do we have here? So it looks like you are definitely making some type of decision at a subconscious level about how do I want to say this? About holding your ground financially, even though you may be hearing rumblings about financial, negative financial news. So there could be some negative financial news that you're worried that may come in. You may be anticipating some type of loss, but even though you're anticipating a loss, it looks to me like you're making a decision to make sure that even if that loss comes in, that you're not losing ground in a financial way or in a material way. So at a subconscious level, you're putting a plan together for the just in case. All right. Looking next at learning style and also communication style. I do see that you're doing some type of learning in a group setting. So this could be networking with a group of people. And finding out information that way at a social gathering. If you're in a place that's allowed to do that, I'm not sure there's a whole lot of places allowed to do that, but definitely, and maybe even this is something online, but it looks to me like there are some things that you're learning from other people and from being around other people and seeing what they're doing and what they have to say, their opinions. I feel like there is a little bit of confusion around you about this idea. I think there's something going on where somebody is saying some things that are going against your reputation. I feel like what they're saying, first of all, is not true. But secondly, it hurts your reputation in the world. And so I think there's some confusion around where that is coming from and who actually is saying that, who got that started. And so I see you really working on trying to figure that out. And I'm going to say for a lot of you, you want to look within your own family or within your own tribe on that. And then the last thing that comes up as far as learning tells me that you're doing some self-guided learning, something that you're doing at your own pace. Now, communication style. I do think that you are communicating quite a bit with a lot of different people in your life. So there could be messages that you're sending out to literally groups of people. Obviously, you're going to be talking to some people who are individuals too, but I do feel like groups are kind of important in communication in this time for you, Cancers. Also, as far as communication, I think you're being very careful to communicate with somebody who's in your sphere of influence in a way that is uplifting and encouraging. Uplifting and encouraging. And really that's echoed again here, just saying that you are communicating in a way that would be nurturing and expectant and encouraging to the people that you're around. All right, next thing that we have going on, Cancers, has to do with work. Well, I don't think you're done doing work. Work is not over. It's not dead in your life. My very first card is a card that for me is the card that just says it isn't over, baby. So I do see you doing some work during this time. It looks to me like there has been some kind of fighting or conflict at work, or maybe there will be even early on during this time frame, but by the time this time frame has passed by, I don't still see that being a part of things. And I do see a lot of you Cancers getting a promotion or getting a raise towards the middle of February. That's nice. Some of you may even be not so much getting a promotion or a raise as much as you're getting a job that is just a better job than what you had before. Okay, now let's look at that part of your personality which is being grown or expanded during this time frame, Cancers. You definitely are planning for the future. And I think the reason you're planning for the future is that right now things are not going the way that you would like them to, and you may not be as happy as you were hoping to be at this point in time. And because you're not, I think that you're making plans for the future because you want the future to be better than it is now. Next thing that we're looking at, Cancers, are those things that you stand for. This is a position in my spread that is influenced by the planet Mars. So you could stand for this with great aggression given the appropriate circumstances. But basically, somebody is needing an explanation from you, or else they're confronting you about a situation. And so you're explaining the situation to them. Maybe you're defending the situation to them, just depending on what tone they're coming to you. And then we're going to look at how they feel about things after you've had a conversation with them about this. So it looks to me like there has been a situation where you have forgiven somebody or let something go that was more of a negative energy, some kind of hurt, injury, heartache type of thing that you have forgiven or let go of. And you found that as you did forgive that or let go of that, that has actually brought balance to your life. It makes you feel much better just to know that you're not carrying that burden around anymore. And it looks to me like you had to cut your losses whenever you did this. You couldn't let go of this whole situation and let go of the hurt and the pain around it and still expect to keep getting a payday out of this or keep getting benefits out of this situation. And so I think you just, whenever you forgave or let this go, I think you pretty much just cut your losses, and that was the end of that. Now, how this person that confronted you about this feels about this situation after your talk. Feels to me like this person thinks that what you did is really an inspired idea, and I think that it's inspiring them as well. There is something in their life that just hasn't changed and hasn't changed and hasn't changed over time. And I think what they're doing as they walk away from this conversation with you is they are cutting off contact with that situation or with that person that's at the root of that situation because of what they saw you doing in cutting losses and forgiving. So you're actually inspiring them to walk away from a situation that they felt like is not really helpful to them. I think that's the first time I've ever seen anybody inspire somebody with their thing that they stand for. That's kind of a new deal there. All right, Cancers, let's look next at your flex point. This is where something happens that sort of changes your perception or your attitude about things, which changes your trajectory in life. And so we want to take a peek at that. What do we have? So there's a situation between you and your friends where you're feeling like you're putting a lot more into a situation than your friends are. And so this is really unbalanced and uneven. And I think that this has you confused because I think in your mind, these people or this person you've always considered them a real true friend. And I think the idea that they're not putting in as much energy or effort or finances into the situation as you are has you really confused. Not only about how good of a friend are they, but also maybe about their financial situation for them. There's a bunch of different things that come up that you might be confused about around the situation. And I think that a lot of you are confused around more than one issue in that situation where your friend is really letting you put in more into whatever this is that you guys are supposedly doing together. Now, at the same time that you have this confusion happening over that, it looks like you've got a relationship going on where maybe things were a little bit tense or awkward. I think that this is starting to loosen up a little bit. You're starting to realize that, it's not so bad to be around this person after all. And you guys are actually starting to lose your awkwardness around each other and really enjoy each other's company, as a matter of fact. Also going on at the same time. There is somebody who is in your family or in your sphere of influence, in your tribe, I want to say, your family or in your tribe, who is probably a female or maybe a less assertive male, but probably a female, who is really, they're normally somebody who has everything. They're the one that is there to help everybody else. They're the rock. They just have plenty of resources normally. And I feel like during this time frame, they're falling a little bit short on resources. And I kind of get the sense that it takes other people by surprise. I think so many people are used to turning to this person when they need a little bit of extra, that whenever this person starts to have trouble, I think it's, first of all, it comes to disbelief, and then comes the shock, and then comes actually recognizing that that's true and the surprise of that. So I don't feel like that person is you. I feel like this is somebody in your family, though. In your family. All right, where do we see you guys at the end of this time frame? So around February 14th or Valentine's Day, maybe the 12th or the 13th as well. It looks like by now you've taken a little bit of time to stop and think things over, set your priorities, sort things out in your mind, and you've come out. You're ready to come out into the world after that point of isolation. It looks like you've got a lot of things that you could be doing to improve your life right now. I'm not so sure that you're focused on one. You may have a lot of scattered energy happening, or you may be overwhelmed with the idea of how many things, how many options there are out there, and so not doing anything, kind of procrastinating. And I think that this is actually kind of stressing you out. I think that you realize that you're not really getting anywhere until you focus on one thing, but you just haven't focused on one thing yet. And so that's kind of got you in a little bit of stress mode once we get into the middle of February, Cancer. Thank you for being here. I'm going to take a small break. I'll come back and we'll look at the rest of the month. See you in a sec. Okay, Cancer, we are back, and this time we are looking at March the 15th through the 31st. Let's see what kind of energies come up for my wonderful Cancer people. What do we see? Thank you for all the thumbs ups and for sharing this video with others who may find it beneficial. If you'd like to schedule a private reading or even a Reiki session, all you have to do is use the contact information on the website to get a hold of me. But for right now, Cancer, let's take a look at your environment towards the end of February. Excuse me, I keep saying February, but I mean March. This whole video is supposed to be March. Okay, so March. Interesting. It looks to me like you are moving away from something in your environment or getting rid of something in your environment that really was holding you back and dragging you down. And as you have gotten rid of that thing, you are finding that your relationships with people in your sphere of influence, and especially your family and your tribe, are improving and getting better. That's a nice thing, eh? Hey, Cancers. All right, next thing that we're looking at is subconscious leanings for you during this particular time frame. We've got something going on in your subconscious where it looks to me like you've sort of cut your losses on something. It looks like somebody has come in and either stolen from you or conned you out of something. And it looks like at one point you cut your losses, maybe in the beginning of this time frame. Now you're thinking, you know what? I can go back and I can play their game and I can get my money back or I can get my things back or whatever. And so it looks to me like you're thinking about this idea of putting yourself back into a situation that's not really a good one because you want to get some material goods back from somebody. And so that's what's going on in your subconscious. Next thing that we're looking at talks to me about learning style and also communication style. I do feel like there is a lot of thinking, and you might be kind of thinking yourself in circles, especially on a particular topic during this time frame. You want to be careful about overthinking that because that's really non-productive time. We're not actually learning anything new when we're just thinking in circles. I do think also that one of the things that you're learning about is the community that you're involved in, whether we're talking about your support network or the neighborhood that you live in. There's something coming up here about community, and I think that you're learning some new things about community or about people in that community or support network. Also, things that you're learning about, I think that I want to say that you're learning how to do things in a frugal way or in a thrifty way. You're learning how to maximize the benefit of some of the things that you have at your fingertips. Basically, you may be learning a modern day version of alchemy, so to speak. Now, as far as communication style, I do think it's very possible that you could be giving somebody a gift as a way of letting them know how you feel about them or what you think of them. Once again, I see that you have some nurturing communication coming up here. You could be actually speaking with children and nurturing and encouraging them, or this could be somebody else that you're basically mentoring and you're nurturing them as they have new revelations and become more aware and capable of things in life. And I feel like there's also, I think there's somebody in your sphere of influence that you don't necessarily talk to all that often, maybe not every day, but I feel like there's a strong bond there, even with a lack of communication. And I think you may be communicating with them at some point during this time frame, maybe 2 times, maybe 3 times tops. But I feel like this is somebody that, you're close with. This is one of those friends that, you can go for a long time without talking to them. And then when you do catch up, it's just like you never really stop talking. Okay, Cancers. Next thing we're looking at does have to do with work. There is something going on at work, Cancer, that really has your heart aching. And I kind of get the sense that this has to do with, I'm not sure, I think for some of you it's going to be a coworker, but for a lot of you it's going to be more of like a client or a customer type person, that something is happening to them that really has you feeling sad about their situation. I feel like, this isn't going to shut down work or stop work. Work still goes on. And I also feel like you're going to be learning something new at work. So you may be learning some type of new skill or system, or I don't know, maybe there's a new location that you're learning about, but there's something that has to do with work where you're learning something new or getting familiar with something new there as well. Okay, next thing that I'm looking at talks to me about that part of your personality which is being grown or expanded right now. I do see you having a really hard time being objective about something, which is making you feel pretty confused, actually. And I think this is somebody who, I think that there's actually a person that you're confused about, and you're confused about what message are they trying to send you? What are they actually trying to say? This could very easily be somebody who's sending you mixed signals, or this could be somebody who, they just speak in a very passionate, very familiar way. Maybe they flirt a lot, and so you're kind of wondering, are you just flirting with me, or should I be reading more into this type of situation? So I feel like there's some confusion around something that this person is saying to you, and this is somebody who's very cheerful and outgoing. They do like to flirt whenever they get the chance. They also like to make people laugh, and so I think that you're just kind of trying to figure out, what are they trying to say here? Next thing that we're looking at, Cancer, does talk to me about those things that you stand for, and we're also going to look at how the other person feels about the situation that you stand for after you've talked to them about it, after they've confronted you or asked you for an explanation. So, what do we have? It looks like we've got your family member showing up again, this family member that everybody was kind of surprised that they don't have buku, lots and lots and lots of resources like they used to. This family member is showing up, and it looks like there's a lot that you have actually been doing to help this family member, and as you've been helping this person, or tribe member, as you've been helping this person, there have been some truths that come out. There's been some information that's come up that the average person wouldn't actually have access to. And so it looks like this is the situation that you're explaining or defending to somebody, and how they feel about this after you guys have had this talk is they kind of feel like you're paying this person back for something that, maybe this person had supported you for a long time, or maybe just their encouragement, but they feel like you're paying this person back. Yeah. And it looks to me like they're feeling like this is something that could take a while for it to actually be complete, where you're finished actually with paying this person back. And I think that has to do with the information that has come up that was not so readily available to just anybody and everybody. You only got that information because you were helping this person. All right, next thing that we're looking at, Cancer does talk to me about your flex period. This is where you have a lesson or experience that changes your perspective, so it changes your trajectory where you're going here in life. And so what we have showing up for your flex period, Cancers, let's see. Looks to me like you're taking a break during this time frame, and you're taking a break to sort of step back and regroup and rethink some things. And I think that this has to do with finances, that finances are not exactly where you would like them to be right now. And so you are stepping back to allow yourself to sort of brainstorm some ideas about what you can do to get finances into the situation or the position that you would like them to be in. At the same time that we have you stepping back to think this over, what else is going on? I do think that you're looking at everything very logically here. And even as you're stepping back, it looks to me like you may be doing some kind of work on some kind of project. You could be doing some kind of work on a project that would be helpful around the house or for a family member. You could also be doing some type of work that possibly could be sold on Etsy. But even as you're stepping back, you're also still doing some work. You haven't stopped working as you're thinking things over and trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to do about increasing the cash flow here? Now, also at the same time, it does look like you are finding something that you really enjoy doing that is giving a little bit of ease for the budget at the moment. And I think that you are probably, I don't feel like you're collaborating necessarily with somebody else, but you probably are working on something, kind of together, sort of at the same time. I don't feel like you guys are collaborating to the point that you're both making money on this project that you're working on together, but I feel like maybe this is, both of you have an enjoyment of doing this thing, and so you're kind of in the same space, doing the same things, trading ideas back and forth, but what you're doing, you're getting the benefit from, and what they're doing, they're getting the benefit from, both separately. But there's collaboration here of ideas and of time, basically, and guidance. I think there's guidance going back and forth between both of you. Now, once we get to the end of the month of March, Cancers, I feel like there is this sense of wishing that there was more money or more material goods around, but at the same time, I do feel like, you're making progress financially, and you may even be receiving some type of gift. And I feel like this gift would be related to the progress that you've been making in some way. So this is kind of cool. I like that. And this is also telling me that you're coming really out of that isolation mode and coming around other people and sort of showing other people your ideas a little bit at a time to see where they might, where those ideas might go. All right. So that's what we have for your month, Cancers. Thank you so much for stopping by and being here. Thank you for giving me thumbs ups on this video and sharing it with others who may find it beneficial as well. And of course, thank you to those of you purchasing private readings and Reiki sessions from me. It is because of all of you guys' support, every single level I get to do what I love to do for a living. So thank you very much. Everybody have a fantastic month. If I don't see you here for a private reading or a private Reiki session, then I'll see you all back on the next video. Peace out.